Once upon a time, a poor fisherman lived by the sea. Every morning, he cast his net with hopes of a big catch, but his luck was often disappointing. He only caught enough fish to survive each day. One morning, as he threw his net into the sea, he felt something much heavier than usual. Excited, he thought he might have caught a large fish. But as he pulled the net in, he discovered something unexpected. His net was shimmering, covered in golden threads. Astonished, the fisherman examined the golden threads in his net. How could this be? He wondered. This was no ordinary net. He realized that the net itself was golden. As he held it up, the sun reflected off the threads, casting a warm, golden glow across the water. The fisherman had never seen anything so beautiful in his life. Filled with hope, he thought, perhaps this net will bring me the fortune I've been waiting for. With excitement, he threw the golden net back into the water, eager to see if it would catch something extraordinary. To his amazement, the net quickly filled with large, shiny fish. Pulling it out, he couldn't believe his luck. Each fish was bigger and brighter than anything he had ever caught before. The fisherman was overjoyed. Finally, I have enough to sell at the market, he exclaimed. He felt like his luck had completely changed. The fisherman sold the fish at the market, earning more money than he had ever made in one day. But he couldn't stop thinking about the golden net. He wondered if it was magical. Eager to test his luck again, he returned to the sea the next morning with the golden net. He cast it into the water, hoping it would continue to bring him prosperity. Once again, the net quickly filled with fish even larger and more valuable than before. The fisherman became well known at the market. People started to ask him about his secret, and his fame spread throughout the village. Day after day, he returned to the sea with his golden net, and every time, it brought him a large catch. Soon, he had enough money to buy a small boat. He no longer had to struggle. This net has changed my life, he thought gratefully. But as his fortune grew, he became more curious about the net's origin. One evening, an old man approached him at the market. I see you've found the golden net, the man said with a knowing smile. The fisherman was surprised. How do you know about it? He asked. The old man explained that net has a long history. It is said to bring fortune to those who use it wisely. But beware, if you become greedy, the magic may disappear. The fisherman felt a chill. He wondered if he had been too focused on his newfound wealth. The fisherman couldn't shake the old man's warning from his mind. He wondered if his good luck would run out if he became too greedy. For the first time, he felt uncertain about his golden net. But the next day, he returned to the sea, casting the net with caution. To his relief, it still brought him a good catch, though he noticed the fish weren't quite as large as before. He reminded himself to be grateful for what he had. Over time, the fisherman became content with his modest success. He no longer sought to grow his wealth quickly but focused on enjoying his work and the simple joys it brought. One day, as he cast his golden net, he caught sight of a beautiful pearl in the water. It glistened beneath the surface, untouched. Though tempted to reach for it, he remembered the old man's advice. He decided to leave the pearl where it lay. That evening, the fisherman felt peaceful, as though he had made the right decision. He had learned the value of balance and restraint. As he sat by the shore, he realized that happiness wasn't just about wealth. It was also about contentment and knowing when enough was enough. From that day on, he cherished his golden net, using it wisely and never taking more than he needed. He understood that true fortune lay in gratitude and simplicity. Word of the fisherman's humility spread throughout the village. People admired him, not only for his success but for his wisdom. Other fishermen began to follow his example, casting their nets with respect for the sea and its bounty. The golden net became a symbol of good fortune and wisdom, and villagers started to tell the story of the humble fisherman who learned the secret to a fulfilling life, contentment and moderation. One day, the fisherman saw a storm brewing on the horizon. Despite the strong winds, he hesitated, tempted to cast his golden net once more before the storm arrived. Remembering the old man's warning, he chose not to take the risk. As he watched, another fisherman's boat struggled in the storm's waves. The golden net, he realized, had not only brought wealth but had taught him patience, caution, and humility. The village people noticed how the fisherman respected his golden net, using it carefully and sparingly. They began to see him as wise and thoughtful, unlike the other fishermen who rushed to catch as much as they could, often without any thought of the consequences. The fisherman's example of humility and restraint became a source of inspiration, and soon, his way of life influenced the entire village. One evening, a young boy approached the fisherman, asking, "Will you teach me how to fish like you?" The fisherman smiled and agreed, taking the boy out to sea the next morning. He showed him how to cast the net and wait patiently. "Fishing is more than catching fish," he explained. "It's about balance, respect, and knowing that nature provides when we are humble and grateful." Years went by, and the fisherman grew older. He continued to fish, sharing his wisdom with others in the village. The young boy he had taught grew up, following the fisherman's way. As he watched the boy, now a young man, use the golden net respectfully, the fisherman felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He knew he had left behind a legacy of wisdom and humility that would benefit future generations. The fisherman eventually decided to retire, passing the golden net on to the young man. "Take care of it, and remember the lessons it taught us," he said. The young man accepted the net with gratitude, promising to respect it as the fisherman had. The old man knew the net would continue to bring fortune, not just in wealth, but in teaching the village about kindness, patience, and moderation. The young man quickly became a respected figure in the village, and everyone could see that he had learned from the fisherman's wisdom. The golden net continued to yield fish, but the young man only took what he needed. The village flourished as other fishermen adopted the same principles, and the village's respect for the sea and its resources became well known. As the old fisherman watched from his humble home, he felt content. His life had been simple but fulfilling, and he knew he had left a meaningful impact on the village. He had achieved more than wealth, he had shared a way of life, teaching others to value patience, humility, and gratitude. His story and the golden net became a legend, passed down through generations. Many years later, children in the village would gather around the old fisherman's home, asking to hear the tale of the golden net. The fisherman would smile and recount his story, reminding them that true fortune wasn't found in riches, but in respect for nature and others. The story became a beloved tale, showing how even the simplest life can have a powerful legacy. Eventually, the fisherman passed away, but his legacy endured. The golden net remained with the young man, who continued to use it wisely. The village remembered the fisherman as a hero, not for his wealth, but for his wisdom and kindness. The golden net's tale was told for generations, reminding all who heard it of the importance of humility, gratitude, and living in harmony with the world.